Hello, Prodigy Finance student, and welcome to our guide on emergency internship options. It's probably pretty late in the game now, and finance usually closes their internship options 6 months before the internship start date and consulting about 4 months before the internship start date. So let's figure out what you can still do with your time in order to have a productive summer. It's important not to panic here and know that there are many different ways to either secure a last-minute internship or to have a productive summer, improving your resume and bolstering your opportunity next year of getting a full-time job. So what are your options? In industry, some companies may still be hiring. The large companies traditionally have a leadership training program that they need to fill out. Some people may have said no, in which case they're still looking for people to fill these unoccupied roles. Likewise, you may try and secure a non-formal internship opportunity. This may mean that you might have to make some sacrifices, but at least you'll be able to be doing something productive with your summer. On the other hand, startups are often very willing to give people an internship on a short notice. Likely, this is a project that they are trying to outsource. They'll come up with it and give you a few weeks to a month in order to complete the project. If you do well, they might continue to feed you projects throughout the entire summer. One way to get this kind of internship is to pitch a local startup. You could walk into the startup, or if you use LinkedIn like we've mentioned, you can contact different individuals at the startup. If you'd like to create your own startup, many schools offer boot camps, and there are other third-party training opportunities as well. The other two areas where you may be able to find something good to do with your time are in social impact work and independent projects. Universities may have a stipend dedicated to social impact work, so this is worth checking out. You can generally see these at your career services. Likewise, there are other external sources that offer social impact projects that may even pay. And lastly, let's talk a little bit about independent projects. This could be doing a little freelancing with one of your favorite professors at the university. You could try and create something, maybe develop a product. Or you might be interested in signing up for a seminar or a program in order to further deepen your knowledge about some sort of field. For instance, we have had students who have spent the entire summer learning about AI or machine learning. In the future, this may be very useful for your career. So how are you going to choose which one of these options to pursue? Well, you should check back with your original strategy. You may need to adjust expectations for a full-time role. This may mean not getting the ideal job you want. Maybe it's not an ideal firm, or it's a lesser role. However, even having some experience on your resume is better than nothing. What you should do is choose the option that will get you closest to your ideal full-time role. Let's look at a few different ways that you can pivot your search. Because you've opted for something much less formal, i.e. you're not a part of a structured recruitment process, you're going to need to be very proactive in your own role. This means sourcing leads that you otherwise wouldn't have pursued. Whether it's that last LinkedIn connection that you're not totally comfortable emailing, or a flyer that you see on your school job board, you're going to need to go after every lead you can now. You can also rely on your network in order to introduce you to potential internship opportunities. Likewise, you're going to need to do a lot of digging on the different companies that you applied to. This is because if you do get a chance to interview with them, you'll need to really impress them with your deep knowledge of their business. Understanding exactly what they do also helps you propose different projects that may add value. The first thing to do is start with companies that you love. These might be companies that you're familiar with as a consumer, you know them by reputation, or because someone you like works there. Start researching the details of that company and see what they've been up to recently. Here you want to be super detailed. You can check the news. You can also figure out exactly what their unique selling point is. You also want to know if they've maybe launched a new product. Basically, everything there is to know about the company, you want to know it. You could also reach out to someone who works on the same team that you're targeting. You could explain your situation and ask just to have a coffee. The objective of this chat would be to figure out if they have any problems that they might want to outsource and propose yourself as the possible solution. And lastly, send proposals. Most of these companies aren't going to have established internship opportunities or even be thinking about that potential. So it'll be on you to present the scope of your work. One way to do this would be to structure your work as a business case, showing the company exactly what they would gain by bringing you on. Or you could do a sales pitch, showing where you add unique value and experience. And if you're doing this, try and match the style and format of your presentation similar to that of the company that you're applying to. And with smaller companies and non-traditional industries, make your presentation as creative as possible. Now let's look at some resources in the 4 categories that we mentioned may have potential internship opportunities. For industry, look at the local business bureau. You can see who is the preferred provider for a service. Ask your friends what products they love and use every day. Look at industries from your hometown where you may have a connection. What small businesses have your professors worked for? Are there any particular industries where lots of graduates from your school go to? These might be interesting to check out. For startups, there's online websites such as AngelList. You could also look at local startup incubators and hubs. And some schools have in-house entrepreneurial support. This includes AngelList and VC funds. Ask to get connected through your school career services or reach out on your own. For social impact work, there are online websites where you can read about the different projects that they have, such as projects abroad and voluntary service overseas. Likewise, you can look at school-specific opportunities, such as the Yale Internship Fund, that pay you to go do social impact abroad. And for independent projects, we recommend chatting to your professors, looking at boutique firms in the area that might have been founded by your professors, and lastly, learn a new hard skill, be it at a local community college or through an online course, just so long as you're doing something to improve your resume in the time that you have. And lastly, it's important to reflect about the entire internship process and why you might not have been as successful as you wanted. By reflecting, you can find areas that you really need to strengthen, and it's important to do this in an honest way. How did you go about the application process? Maybe you only focused on one company and so put all your eggs in one basket. Or maybe you spread yourself too thin and didn't focus enough time on a particular area. Lucky for you, you still have a few months to improve your application. As we now know, the job search process will begin very early next year. So you're going to want to take this time to improve your application right now, as soon as possible, in the best way that you can, in order to have a productive search next year. But also, it is your summer break, so remember to have some fun.